Boys, in our previous class, we covered how to prepare racemic mixture. So what is racemization? Preparation of racemic mixture from enantiomers of a compound is called as racemic mixture. That is nothing but equimolar mixture of D and L forms of a component. For example, so 10 moles of dextrorotatory compound and 10 moles of levorotatory compound of the same chemical are mixed. That mixture has no optical rotation because dextroform trying to rotate that after plane polarized light towards right. Levoform, because that levoform also available in that picture, boys. That levoform trying to rotate that plane polarized light towards anti-clockwise direction. So dextro trying to rotate clockwise, levo trying to rotate anti-clockwise. So one cancels other. Therefore, finally, the plane polarized light comes out without any deflection, without any rotation. Therefore, that is optically inactive. So dextroform cancels levo rotation, levoform cancels dextro rotation. This compensation is called as external compensation. Racemic mixture, it is optically inactive due to external compensation. So our mesoform is also optically inactive due to internal compensation. Okay, so that is a preparation of racemic mixture, equimolar mixture. Now we have racemic mixture. That racemic mixture, now I am trying to separate that racemic mixture into individual components, that is dextroform and levoform. Boys, this is our racemic mixture. So that racemic mixture, so R configuration and S configuration, one is dextro, another one is levo, boys. So equimolar mixture is available. That equimolar mixture I am trying to separate into R and S, individual R and S. The process of conversion of racemic mixture into individual components is called as resolution. So the process of separation of racemic mixture into individual components is called as resolution. Okay, see here. First of all, this racemic mixture is treated with an optically active solvent because so in optical inactive solvents, no chemical change, boys. But when optically active compound is added to racemic mixture, its chemical properties are changed automatically. So those enantiomeric compounds, racemic mixture is the combination of enantiomers. So racemic mixture, it is the mixture of enantiomers, equimolar mixture of enantiomers, boys. Enantiomers. Okay. So now it is treated with an optically active compound. So these enantiomers first converts into diastereomers with this solvent. So R bonded with R dash solvent and S bonded with S dash solvent. Now these are the diastereomers of these chemicals. So diastereomers have different chemical properties, different physical properties. By using distillation or something else, those can be separated. So now this is distillation technique is applied. So having different boiling points because it is liquid. So that means R dash is separated and S dash is separated and separates into two beakers. Okay. Now, so the bond, the attraction between that chemical and our solvent, that is first of all going to be broken with the help of some techniques. After that, each one is separated. So this is the way to explain, to convert that racemic mixture into individual components. Here, enantiomers, when treated with an optically active solvent, first converts into diastereomers. And then they are separated. Okay. So this is resolution. Now the most important topic is that is optical purity. Very, very, very important. Optical purity. What is this optical purity, boys? Now see here. I am trying to prepare a mixture of enantiomers. See here. So for example, I am taking a beaker. I am taking beaker, boys. So it is the solution, boys. In this solution, what are those are present? Okay. So it is the mixture of enantiomers, but not equimolar. But not equimolar. If these are equimolar, automatically that goes to racemic mixture, boys. But I am not taking here equimolar. One enantiomer is in excess than that of others. One enantiomer is in excess than that of others. For example, okay. So for example, only one enantiomer is there in this. Either S form or R form only is there. That is optically pure enantiomer, boys. So that is called as enantiomeric pure enantiomeric compound, boys. Okay. So it is very, very important. So for example, see, boys, if this mixture contains only one enantiomer, either R or S, either R or S. So that is called as enantiomerically pure compound. Or which is also called as optically pure. If only one component is there, but not always it is possible. It is a combination of mixture. So R is mixed with S or S is mixed with R, but one is in excess amount. But one is in excess amount. So if mixture of R and S are taken unequally, so R and unequally, I am taking unequally, boys, not equimolar, other molar ratios, boys, unequally. Okay, so that means, for example, if dextro is greater than levo, the final mixture is dextrorotatory compound. The final mixture is dextrorotatory, boys. If dextro is greater than that of levo, finally the mixture has so dextrorotational. For example, if levo is greater than that of dextro, see here, boys, levo greater than dextro, finally the mixture has L rotation. Am I correct or wrong, boys? Did you catch my point? If only dextro or only levo is there, total compound is dextro or total compound is levo. So no cancellation, boys. No cancellation. But if unequal amounts of dextro and levo compounds are available, unequal amounts. If dextro is more, okay. If dextro is more, so for that is final compound is mixture is dextrorotatory. If levo is more, final mixture is levo rotatory compound. So some fraction is cancelled and remaining fraction is rotated, boys. Some fraction is cancelled and remaining fraction. For example, see here, that is 10 moles of D form plus 3 moles of L form is mixed, boys. I'm taking 10 moles of D form and 3 moles of L form. So in this 10 moles, 7 plus 3 moles, this 3 moles and this 3 moles is cancelled, boys. So remaining 7 moles, how much is there? That is D. So therefore, these remaining 7 moles creates rotation. So because D is excess, that rotation should be dextro. So like this, that means the remaining amount, is called as excess amount, which is called as enantiomeric excess, amount. Okay. So that means because of that excess, optical rotation is there. If equal, optically inactive. If equal, optically inactive. If unequal, either clockwise or anti-clockwise takes place. If dextro is more, finally dextro. If levo is more, finally levo. That means one enantiomer is in excess. That gives something rotation. That rotation here we are going to discuss. See here, what is this optical purity? It is the percentage of enantiomeric mixture. It is the percentage of enantiomeric mixture due to which optical rotation takes place. If one form is in excess, that creates something optical rotation does. Now I am going to calculate how much that optical form, how much that rotation is there. That is explained with the help of enantiomeric excess condition. That is explained on the basis of enantiomeric excess. See here, boys, how to calculate this percentage. That means percentage of one optical isomer is more. How to calculate that optical purity? See here. So percentage of optical purity. Is equal to excess enantiomer by total mixture into 100. Excess enantiomer by total mixture into 100. Okay. For example, if R is more than that of S, therefore R minus S, that gives excess percentage by R plus S into 100. In case of weights are given to you, so modulus boys. Okay. Next, in case of weights, weight of R minus weight of S by R plus S into 100. That is weight of R plus weight of S. If number of moles are given to you, that is number of moles of R minus number of moles of S modulus by number of moles of R plus number of moles of S into 100. Number of moles of S into 100. These are the formulae used to calculate percentage purity. That means how much of that excess is available. That is calculated. That is called as excess enantiomers. That is which is also called as percentage of excess enantiomer. Which is also called as percentage of excess enantiomer. Okay. So it is very, very important, boys. And also, see here, percentage of optical purity plus percentage of racemic mixture must be equal to 100. Percentage of optical purity, that means excess enantiomer plus racemic mixture, total percentage must be equal to 100. By using these two formulae, there is a lot of problems, boys. How to calculate excess amount? Okay. Therefore, boys, enantiomeric mixture. This is called as enantiomeric mixture. Okay, so enantiomeric mixture. It contains two components only. One is excess enantiomer. Excess enantiomer, which is called as percentage of excess enantiomer, plus other one is racemic mixture. Racemic mixture. So that is a percentage of racemic mixture. So percentage of racemic mixture plus percentage of excess enantiomer is equal to total 100, which is equal to total 100. So therefore, percentage of optical purity, that is nothing but excess enantiomer plus percentage of racemic mixture, which is equal to total 100. By using this, we can solve some problems. Let us take problems first. Okay. See here, boys. For example, I'm trying to explain this concept. For example, I'm taking 10 grams dextroform, 5 grams levoform. 10 grams dextroform, 5 grams levoform. This dextroform, that is 10 grams I am splitting into 5 grams dextro plus 5 grams dextrora. This contains 5 grams levora. This 5 grams levo, this 5 grams levo. This gives total 10 grams racemic mixture. Because it is equimolar plus 5 grams dextro. This 5 grams dextro is considered as enantiomeric excess. This is called as racemic mixture. This total percentage should be equal to 100. That is what I am told here. The total percentage should be equal to 100. Okay. So therefore, so this is enantiomeric excess. This is enantiomeric excess. Boys, did you catch this concept? Did you catch this concept? Tell me. 5 gram D means dextrod for a compound, for example, lactic acid. For example, lactic acid. Lactic acid has dextrolactic acid and levolactic acid. 5 grams dextrolactic acid, 10 grams levolactic acid is taken, or 10 grams levolactic acid and 5 grams liquid. EE means enantiomeric excess. This much 5 grams dextro enantiomer is in excess amount. 5 grams dextro enantiomer is excess amount. That is which is called as excess enantiomer. Okay. Yes. So let us discuss a problem, boys. So see here. A mixture of natural cholesterol and its enantiomer. And its enantiomer has a specific rotation at 20 degrees centigrade of minus 27 degrees Celsius. Minus 27 degrees. Calculate the percentage enantiomeric excess The percentage enantiomeric excess of the mixture. Of the mixture. What percentage of the mixture is what percentage of the mixture is what percentage of mixture has natural cholesterol? What percentage of the mixture has natural cholesterol? Given specific rotation of pure cholesterol is minus 31.5 degrees. Specific rotation of pure cholesterol is minus 31.5 degrees Celsius. Minus 31.5 degrees. Okay. See here, boys. Here, enantiomeric excess you want to calculate. So there is a formula. So percentage of enantiomeric excess. So there is one more formula, boys, in terms of specific rotation. That is observed specific rotation by specific rotation of pure enantiomer into 100. Observed specific rotation by specific rotation of pure enantiomer into 100. It is one more formula, boys, to calculate excess enantiomer in terms of specific rotation. If weights are number of moles are given to you, previously we wrote that formula. If percentage specific rotations are given to you, it is the formula used to calculate. So percentage of excess enantiomer, which is equal to observed specific rotation is how much? Minus 27 degrees. So that is why it is minus 27 by. So specific rotation of pure enantiomer, pure cholesterol, that is minus 31.5 into 100. So finally we got that is 86%. 86%. So which is called as pure cholesterol, boys. Which is a pure cholesterol. Okay. So now you want to calculate what percentage of mixture has natural cholesterol. Okay. See here, boys, we know percentage of enantiomer plus, so racemic mixture, percentage of racemic mixture is equal to 100. This is the formula we know. So percentage of enantiomer excess, which is equal to 86 plus percentage of racemic mixture is equal to 100. From this, percentage of racemic mixture is equal to 100 minus 86, which is equal to 49. Okay, that means racemic mixture weight is 49. Racemic mixture means so D plus L format. Therefore, this 14 is nothing but 7 plus 7. 1 7 is applicable for D and another one for L form. Okay, so that means one is 7%. Why it is 14? 7%. That is a pure cholesterol. So this 7% is enantiomer. That 7% is its enantiomer. Therefore, total percentage of pure cholesterol is equal to this 86 plus this 7, which is equal to 93%. This is the final answer, boys. This is final answer. Okay. Next problem and plus mandelic acid. Less mandelic acid has a specific rotation. Has a specific rotation less 158 degrees Celsius. What should be the specific rotation of what should be the specific rotation of 25% plus mandelic acid and 75% minus mandelic acid. Okay, so mandelic acid formula, actually no need. The formula is benzene ring CH OH COH. It is the formula for mandelic acid. It is the chiral center, boys. It is the chiral center. You want to calculate, boys. So mandelic acid has two forms. One is L form, another one is J form. Dextrorotatory, levorotatory. Okay. So dextrorotatory 25%, levorotatory 75%. That mixture has 25% dextro form, 75% levo form. Now, what is the specific rotation? Boys, so specific rotation, that is observed specific rotation is equal to so specific rotation of first enantiomer into its mole fraction plus specific rotation of second enantiomer into its mole fraction plus etc. So actually no need others any. This is the format. So specific rotation of first enantiomer and its mole fraction, specific rotation of second enantiomer and its mole fraction, and so the summation total observed rotation that is equal to alpha specific rotation of first enantiomer. I'm taking this is as a plus enantiomer, this is as minus enantiomer. Sorry, this is as minus enantiomer. This is also plus. This is also minus. Second enantiomer boys. See here, it is plus mandelic acid specific rotation. Plus mandelic acid specific rotation of 25%. So 25. 28, that is what should be the specific rotation of 25% plus mandelic. So plus mandelic acid specific rotation plus 158. Specific rotation plus 158. So that is plus 158 into plus 158 into its mole fraction 25%. That means 25 by 100 plus boys plus mandelic acid specific rotation plus 128. Enantiomers magnitude is same but opposite in rotation. So that means see here plus mandelic acid specific rotation plus 158 degrees. That implies minus mandelic acid specific rotation is minus 158 degrees because opposite in sign but magnitude is same. That is enantiomers. Enantiomer has magnitude is same, rotation magnitude is same, but opposite is sign. One is clockwise rotation, another one is anti-clockwise rotation. Therefore, so specific rotation of enantiomer Tura, that is minus 158 into, so second enantiomer, that is 75%, 75 by 100. Okay, That implies so alpha observed, total observed is equal to how much we will get? That is minus 79 degrees centigrade. Minus 79 degrees is the final answer. So therefore, so total, what should be the specific rotation of 25% mandelic acid? And so that is the mixture end. What is the specific rotation of mixture? That means finally levo is more, so that is the negative rotation. If dextro is more, that is that we will get positive rotation. So how much is the total specific rotation? That is explained on the formula. So this is also most important formula, boys. Please note down this formula. Please note down this formula. Specific rotation. It is called as specific rotation of first enantiomer into its mole fraction. Specific rotation of second enantiomer into its mole fraction. Okay, no need of modulus, boys. But because we will get finally, is this plus value or minus value? If dextro form is more, plus is more. So final rotation should be plus. If levo form is more, final rotation should be minus. Okay, what is specific rotation? So please go and see at the time of starting optical instrument. That is the extent of rotation. Okay, plane polarized light. How much extent the chemical is going to be rotated? That is called as extent of rotation, which depends on. Okay, so length of the tube, concentration of solution already completed, boys. Okay, yes, Ritvik, see here. Here, boys, it is a mixture. This mixture contains plus mandelic acid and minus mandelic acid. Plus mandelic acid is 25%, minus mandelic acid is 75%. Plus mandelic acid has a specific rotation value plus 158 degrees, minus mandelic acid has a specific rotation minus 158 degrees. So this value is not given to you. You can choose because enantiomers, the magnitude of rotation is same but opposite in sign. So plus value is given as plus 158. Automatically, its enantiomer negative value should be minus 158. Okay, these are the values given to you, boys. Okay, so by using these values, by using this formula, we will calculate. So total, so observed rotation of the mixture. Specific rotation of observed specific rotation of the mixture is equal to specific rotation of one enantiomer into its mole fraction plus specific rotation of another enantiomer into its mole fraction. Finally, we will get the answer is minus 79 degrees. Okay, let us discuss one more problem. Solve yourself. Almost a similar model. See here. Pure or mandelic acid. Pure or mandelic acid has a specific rotation of minus 154 degrees. Minus 154 degrees. And sample contains and sample contains 60% or and 40% yes, 40% of its enantiomer, 40% of its enantiomer, full stop. The specific rotation of the mixture is dash. The specific rotation of the mixture is dash. Similar model wise. Try yourself. Waiting for you. Yes, Bashwant, you are correct. Please mention whether it is positive or negative. Final answer should be positive or negative. Please mention that one answer. Bashwant, correct. Bashwant, correct. Rohan, mention sign. Magnitude is same. Okay, but sign, whether it is positive or negative. Rohan, you are wrong. Wrong. Which one is more? R form or L form? %60 R form and 40% L form. And R form has a negative. R form has a negative end. See here, R form is specific rotation, which is equal to minus 154 degrees. Automatically, S form. So, enantiomer specific rotation is plus 154 degrees. So, R form, its mole fraction is 60%, 60 by 100. So, its mole fraction 40 by 100. Therefore, so alpha observed specific rotation of the mixture is equal to, so that is 0.6 into minus 154 plus 0.4 into plus 154. So finally we will have negative value wise. So minus 30.8 degrees. Minus 30.8 degrees. Okay. So this is important, Annie. Please keep in mind. Let us take one more problem based on specific rotation. Very important. Now see here, boys. A mixture of a mixture of 5 grams D-lactic acid and 3 grams L-lactic acid. 5 grams D-lactic acid and 3 grams L-lactic acid has a specific rotation of plus 2.5 degrees. The specific rotation of D-lactic acid is dash. The specific rotation of D-lactic acid is dash. Boys, we know optical purity, percentage of optical purity is equal to observed specific rotation by total specific rotation of pure compounds into 100. Observed specific rotation by specific rotation of pure compound into 100. Now we are going to calculate specific rotation of pure compounds, that is D-lactic acid. So therefore, specific rotation of pure compound, this one I am taking as specific rotation of D-lactic acid. Lactic acid is equal to observed specific rotation by percentage optical purity into 100. So observed specific rotation is how much, boys? Observed specific rotation. So this is observed specific rotation given observed specific rotation is equal to plus 2.5 degrees centigrade. But optical purity we don't know, boys. But optical purity we don't know. Therefore, optical purity is equal to, so boys, weights are given to you. If weights are given to you, how to get? See here. So that is 5 minus 3 by 5 plus 3 into 100. Weights are given to you. Excess, okay? So that is 5 minus 3, 5 plus 8, 100. 5 minus 3, sorry, 2. 2 by 8, 4, which is 25%. Which is 25%. Okay, optical purity, percentage optical purity. It is a percentage optical purity. So percentage optical purity is equal to 25%. Observed specific rotation is plus 2.5. Now answer any. Therefore, specific rotation of D-lactic acid is equal to, so observed specific rotation, that is 2.5 plus and by, so 25 into 100, so it is 4 times plus 10 degrees. Plus 10 degrees is the answer. Plus 10 degrees. So observed, that is specific rotation of the compound, particularly D-lactic acid. So D-lactic acid specific rotation is this much. Okay. Next, boys, and also most important. Very, very, very important. Too much important problem, Ra. That is when 0.3 grams of natural cholesterol is dissolved in 15 ml of chloroform, 15 ml of chloroform, and placed in a 10 centimeter polarimeter tube. Ten centimeter polarimeter tube. Full stop. The observed rotation at 20 degrees centigrade using D line of sodium. It is wavelength, boys. Is minus 0.63 degrees Celsius. Calculate the specific rotation of cholesterol. Calculate the specific rotation of cholesterol. Calculate the specific rotation of cholesterol. It is the problem, boys. See here, we want to calculate specific rotation. At the beginning of our optical isomerism, specific rotation formula I am given already. I gave to you, boys. I explained. So see here. So specific rotation at lambda and T Kelvin is equal to So observed specific rotation that is alpha observed by observed specific rotation, which is nothing but alpha observed by L, which is in decimeter into C, which is in gram per ml. So this is the formula, boys, we wrote at the beginning of chemically our optical isomerism. Please check your previous notes. So it is a specific rotation. Specific rotation at a particular lambda and a particular temperature is equal to observed specific rotation by length of the polarimeter tube in decimeter and concentration in gram per ml. Concentration in gram per ml. See here. So length and L is equal to length of the polarimeter tube, which is equal to 10 centimeter, which is equal to 1 decimeter, because 10 centimeters is equal to 1 decimeter. Here we are using only decimeters, boys. Therefore, 1 decimeter. Next, concentration sera. How many grams? 0.3 grams in 15 ml. But it is per 1 ml. 1 ml contains how much? That is 0.3 by 15 gram per ml. This is concentration. This is concentration 0.3 by 15. Yes, correct, Ashwant. Okay, so therefore, lambda at D line, that is wavelength wise, at 20 degrees centigrade is equal to observed specific rotation. How much is given to you? This is observed minus 0.63 by L value. This is 1 end into C gram per liter, that is 0.3 by 15. 0.3 by 15. Therefore, overall the value is minus 31.5 degrees. Minus 31. Please be conscious, boys. So length should be in decimeter cube, decimeters. Concentration must be in gram per ml. We should take gram per ml. It is in decimeter. So 1 decimeter is equal to 10 centimeters. 1 decimeter is equal to 10 centimeters. That is a conversion, boys. Since 10 centimeters is equal to 1 decimeter, so therefore 1 decimeter we should use, boys. Okay. So this is about problems which are involved in optical isomerism. Very, very, very important model, boys. Very, very, very important. See here. Calculation of number of optical isomers, just like geometrical isomers. Here also some formula, boys, based on number of chiral centers and symmetric conditions. How many optical isomers are possible? Please be conscious. Please note down every point. Okay. The first one. Conditions. First condition. A compound with only one chiral center if a compound only with one chiral center, boys. So that means always one chiral center optically active, one is dextroform, another one is levoform. Always 2 isomers are possible, boys. Okay. So therefore, optical isomers is equal to 2. So in this 2, one is D form, one is L form. Okay. So therefore, one. Okay, both are active. Both are active. Both are optically active. Both are optically active. Therefore, so 2 means one pair of enantiomers. That implies enantiomeric pairs. is equal to 1. So number of optical isomers is equal to 2. In that 2, one is dextroform, another one is levoform. Both are optically active. So that means one pair of enantiomers is possible. One pair of enantiomers. It is for only one chiral center. So examples: lactic acid. Already we know. COOH, OH, H, CH3 boys. It has one chiral center. So everywhere, if one chiral center is there, automatically. So glyceraldehydes, nothing but CHO. So it is OH, H, CH2OHN. Glyceraldehyde, like this. Okay, it is optically active. Next, for example, I am taking this compound, boys. I am taking this compound CH3. This is chiral center, boys. Only one chiral center. So this one has optical isomers 2 only. Okay. Next, if I am taking like this, I am taking here CH3. This one are chiral center any optical isomers is equal to 2 only. For example, if I am taking the compound like this, see here, boys. So is this carbon chiral carbon or not? It is not a chiral carbon, because so this sequence and this sequence are same and pathways are same. Therefore, it is not chiral. Therefore, optical isomers is equal to 0. No chiral center is there. Okay. So this pathway and this pathway both are same. So in case of cyclic compounds, pathways, all the 4 pathways must be different. But here pathways are same. That it is optically inactive. Optical isomer 0 and it is optically inactive. No chiral center. Like this. If one chiral center is there, number of optical isomers is equal to 2. Next one. Second condition. If 2 or more chiral centers are present. If 2 or more chiral centers are present. So more than one chiral center is there. Here, symmetric condition, asymmetric condition, just like your geometrical isomers, here also possible, boys. See here. So case 1, that is A. Okay. Ends are different. That means unsymmetrical component. That means unsymmetrical compounds. Ends are different. Okay. Now, therefore, number of optical isomers is equal to 2 power n. N is equal to number of chiral centers. So number of chiral centers. The ends are different. Okay. Therefore, enantiomeric pairs. Boys, in previous two compounds, one parent. That means half number is enantiomeric pairs. Therefore, number of enantiomeric pairs is equal to 2 power n by 2. 2 power n by 2. Example. See here. I am taking glucose. See here. CHO. OH, H, H, OH, OH, H, OH, H, CH2OH. It is glucose, boys. Glucose. These two ends are different. Ends are different. So these are the chiral centers. Therefore, so it is not, it is glucose, boys. So chiral center 4. Therefore, number of optical isomers is equal to 2 power n and n is equal to 4n. So that is 2 power 4 overall 16. Therefore, number of enantiomeric pairs is equal to 16 by 2, which is equal to 8. Number of enantiomeric pairs. Okay. So like this, boys, if ends are different, so 2 power n is the total number of optical isomers. So number of enantiomeric pairs, that is 8. That means 8 forms are D, 8 forms are L. 8 forms are dextrorotatory compounds, 8 forms are levorotatory compounds. 8 forms. Okay. Like this, it is possible. Next one. Next one. Next one. If ends, here ends are different. Now, if ends are same, here B and ends are same. Ends are same, boys. That means or symmetrical. The compound is symmetrical. Ends are same or symmetrical. Okay. So that means symmetrical means half path is mirror image to another one, and a meso compound may be possible, boys. Okay. So symmetrical. So here meso possible and here meso possible. Okay. So now how to calculate? So ends are different. Now in this case, even number of chiral centers and odd number of chiral centers are different cases. For example, number of chiral centers are even. So that is first one. If number of chiral centers are even number of chiral centers are there, that implies n is even. Number of chiral centers are even, that is n is even. Therefore, number of optical isomers is equal to 2 power n minus 1 plus 2 power n minus 2 by 2. This value gives optically active compounds. These are gives meso compounds. So this is number of meso compounds. These are optically. Meso compound is optically inactive, boys. Okay. So total number of optical isomers, meso is also optically active, but overall compound is inactive. Okay. So number of optical isomers, optically active compounds, it is optically inactive compound. So 2 power n minus 1 plus 2 power n minus 2 by 2, n minus 2 by 2. Therefore, optically active isomers, it is optically inactive isomers. Optically inactive. So therefore, number of enantiomeric pairs is equal to, these are optically active. From this, we will get enantiomeric pairs. So 2 power n minus 1 by 2. Number of enantiomeric pairs. 2 power n minus 1 by 2. Next, number of meso compounds. This is number of meso compounds, by that is 2 power n by 2 by 2. 2 power n minus, 2 power n minus 2 power by 2. Same. Okay, so this is number of meso compounds. Let us take an example. Let us take an example. See here. Example. See here. So COOH bonded with CHOH, CHOH, COOH. Tartaric acid. Already I explained this tartaric acid, boys. Tartaric acid. This is chiral center. This is chiral center. So N is equal to 2 only. So ends are same. Ends are same. Therefore, optically isomers is equal to number of optical 2 power n minus 1, that is 2 power 2 minus 1 plus 2 power 2 minus 2 by 2, that is 2 power 1 plus 2 power 0, that is 2 plus 1, which is equal to 3. Therefore, these two are optically active. This 2 power 0 is a meso. The 2 power 0 is mesura. Okay, so like this you should calculate. So that means tartaric acid has one dextroform, one levoform, and the other one is mesoform. Mesoform. Okay, so this is next. If n is even, if n is odd, next case. Second case, if number of chiral centers are odd end, that implies n is equal to odd end. Number of chiral centers odd, n is equal to odd end. If n is odd, therefore number of optical isomers is equal to 2 power n minus 1, 2 power n minus 1. Next, meso compounds. Meso compounds is equal to 2 power n minus 1 by 2 only. Okay. Next, therefore, optically active compounds. Boys, these are total optical isomers. These are meso compounds. These are optically inactive. Therefore, this one minus this one gives active end. Therefore, 2 power n minus 1 minus 2 power n minus 1 by 2. So this is optically active compounds, not total. Not total end. It is optically active compounds. Okay. So example. Example. So see here. So COOH bonded with CHOH, CHOH, CHOH 3 times COOH. This is chiral, this is chiral, this is also chiral. These are the 3 chiral centers. So therefore, n is equal to 3 odd end. So terminal groups are same end. Terminal groups are same, n is equal to odd. Therefore, our formula ending. Therefore, optical isomers is equal to 2 power 3 8. Next, meso compounds. Meso compounds 2 power 8, sorry, 2 power 3 minus 1 by 2 so 2 power 1, that is 2 only. That is 2. Therefore, optically active compounds is equal to 8 minus 2 6. Optically active compounds 8 minus 2, that is 6. So this is the way to calculate number of optical isomers. Okay, so very, very, very important. Number of optical isomers. Okay. Okay. It is 8. These are the 3 power 3, 2 power 3, that is 8. Here 3 minus 1, 3 minus 1, 2, 2 by 2, 1, 2 power 1, 2 and correct it. I'm correct. It is like this. 3 minus 1 by 2. 3 minus 1 by 2. Okay, boys, see here. Here n is equal to, okay, optical isomers 2 power 3 minus 1. Okay, it is 4. It is 2. So, okay, it is 4 minus 2, which is 2 only. 4 minus 2, 2. Okay, boys, thank you. Okay, am I correct now? Am I correct now? As per your formula? No doubt, it is corrected. Okay. Okay, thank you. Next, boys. So this is the way to calculate total number of optical isomers. That means, so compound having at least one chiral center that can rotate plane polarized light either clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction, which is called as optical activity. So therefore, chirality is the necessary condition, sufficient condition. But so chirality is not only a particular criteria, that is a criteria, boys. Some compounds having no chiral carbon, but they are optically active. Okay, boys, in our chemistry, in our daily life, there are some compounds without having any chiral carbon, they are optically active. Okay, how, sir? Because of asymmetric operations. Without having any symmetry, automatically that compound is optically active. So among that, what are those? That is allenes. Okay, that is ethylidines. We will discuss, boys. Biphenyls. All these are some compounds having no chiral center, but acts as optical, acts as optical isomers. They can rotate plane polarized light either clockwise direction or anti-clockwise. They are optically active. Let us discuss that compounds. So within 10 to 15 minutes, boys, please wait. Next subheading. Next subheading, optical activity. In the absence of chiral center, chiral atom. Optical activity in the absence of chiral atom. Okay, optical activity. Just within 10 to 15 minutes, it is going to over. Please wait. Optical activity in the absence of chiral atom, boys. So what are those? See here. 1. Allenes. Allenes means there is a C double bond C going on like this, boys. Allenes. Okay. Here, next, second case. Second case, that is alkylidines. Alkylidines. These are nothing but a ring bonded with double bond. Ring bonded with double bonds. These are alkylidines. Next, biphenyls. Nothing but two benzene rings fused in. Biphenyls. Okay. See, boys. Next, spirenes. So before going to biphenyls, I'm giving spirenes, boys. Spirenes are nothing but rings, boys. number of rings. Sorry. Okay, this is going on, boys. Rings going on. See, boys, in all these cases, okay, here 5 bonds, number of 5 bonds. If number of 5 bonds are even, they are optical isomers. If number of 5 bonds are odd, they exhibit geometrical isomers. Here, number of 5 bonds are even, they exhibit optical isomerism. If number of 5 bonds are odd, they exhibit geometrical isomerism, boys. Geometrical isomerism. Okay, here X, Y, here A, B are attached. X is not equal to Y and A is not equal to B. So in this case, the compounds exhibit optical isomerism. In this case, the compound exhibit optical isomerism. Next, here. So ring plus 5 bonding. Ring plus 5 bonds. So this combination, if it is even, that exhibits optical isomerism. See here, similarity. Here it is odd, that exhibit geometrical isomerism. Here also, A, B, X, Y, N. Okay, these compounds, even number, ring plus 5, even number gives optical isomers. So odd number gives optical geometrical isomerism. No optical isomerism. Here also. So that is, so X, Y, A, B, like this, boys. Here also. Here number of rings. Here number of rings. If it is even, once again even, optical isomerism possible. It is odd, geometrical isomerism possible. Please consider whether the compound exhibits geometrical isomerism or optical isomerism. Very, very important. Here also, A not equal to B and X is not equal to Y. So these conditions must follow, boys. These conditions must follow. Okay. Next and last, that is biphenyl. Boys, in these cases, no symmetry is available. Plane of symmetry, center of symmetry, alternative axis of symmetry. No type of symmetry is available. That's why these are optically active, even though having no chiral center. These are optically active. Next compound, biphenyls. That is biphenyls, boys. See here. Biphenyls. What are these biphenyls? In which case these biphenyls exhibit optical isomerism. Okay. See here, biphenyls, 2 benzene rings now. Benzene ring, boys. These are bonded. So here A, here B type. Okay. Or biphenyls. These are the groups, boys. Okay, that is here are it is B. So these two have no symmetry in it, no plane of symmetry. Therefore, optically active. These are optically active. Okay. Next, it is first case now. In case of second case, okay. So ortho substituents, both the rings and ortho substituents, boys. See here, only ortho substituents. Only ortho substituents and and those groups are bulky groups. Those groups are bulky groups. That means heavy groups, boys. If heavy groups are only at ortho substitution, so those also maybe not exactly, maybe optically active, maybe optically active. Okay, so see here example, bulky groups. See here, only ortho substituents, boys. A and A and A, only ortho. Next, A, only ortho condition, boys. Next, A. So in these cases, these are optically active. So if A, here, A is a bulky group. So mostly COOH, SO3H or NO2 groups. So if these groups are available, mostly, not always, mostly and not always. Okay, in these cases, no symmetry is available. So therefore, those are optically active. Those are optical, even though having no chiral center, these compounds may also act as optically active compounds. So this is optical isomerism, boys. So this is the completion of optical isomerism. Okay, so thank you.